Didn't get a chance to discuss Biden's comments. Yeah, he basically threatened nuclear action against the people of America. Now let's add some context to it. President Joe Biden, it's coming from Insider, Business Insider. President Joe Biden joked that people who think they needed guns to take on the U.S. government would actually need nuclear weapons. See, when people say that, this is just a traditional NPC response when people advocate for any type of gun ownership. They say, well, and oh, you're not going to take on the government. The government has nukes. I don't think they understand the argument that they're making. There's a couple of, I guess, angles that I can take with that. But the main argument that these dipshits are making is that, yeah, we have the laws are fucked in the fact that we can't own nukes. I'm pro-nuke, pro-nuclear. Well, pro-nuke if the government has them. Maybe not pro-nuke on net, but you get what I'm saying. Because the concept of is whatever they fucking have, you'd want in the arms of the citizenry. Anyway, so if anything, what you're doing is you're making the argument that there's too many gun laws or too many laws against arms on the books, and I would agree. I agree. If they have it, yeah, I should be able to go to McNukes and go pick me up a couple. Keep them at bay. But let's see what else he said. In a speech on Wednesday, they outlined a plan to combat gun violence. If you want it, or if you think you need to have weapons to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons. All right, well, let's get them on the streets. Let's get them on the streets. You're not the point that these people make when they say that. They don't understand. Like, you're right. It's like, oh, well, you're kind of right, Joe Biden. You're making the argument that we have too many gun laws on the books. And this is what my claim that I've been making about people that appeal to the Second Amendment. They've long shat on your Second Amendment. Have you seen the various amounts, and not just state to state, but the federal even gun laws that exist in this country? It's nonsense. It's complete nonsense. They've long shat on that. They've long shat on it. Now, again, nowadays, you're getting a little more conflict, a little more pushback, and I think it's because guys like Biden are in office. That's the only time Republicans call themselves getting on the offense is when they can try to take it to a Democrat, because the Democrat controls all the conversations. You see what the part of the speech he said right here. Let's listen to old Sleepy Joe.
Own them. And I might add, the Second Amendment from the day it was passed limited the type of people who could own a gun. And what type of weapon?
That is simply not true, unless you're talking about but even then, that wouldn't be the amendment. That's more of the amendment itself. That would be more of people's other laws, Fugitive Slave Act and stuff like that, where they was trying to outlaw slaves, for example, owning weapons and shit.
Weapon you could own. You couldn't buy a cannon. Those who say the blood of the.
What are you talking about? This guy is lying. That's ahistorical what he just said about cannons.
Move against the government. Well, the tree of liberty is not water with the blood of patriots. What's happened is,
wow,
there never been. If you wanted to think you need to have weapons to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons. The point is that there's always been the ability to rationally limit the type of weapon that can be owned. And who
again, not true. Not true. Not true in the sense that regular citizens, for the most part, could own whatever the fucking government army and whatever they had. Nonetheless, what the point that he's making is an argument that we have too many laws on the books anyway. So, because this is the point, right? The argument that people make when it comes to the Second Amendment is, well, it ain't the fucking keep away the deer. That's not what it's there for. Okay. That's why I've been long saying, man, they should be on the people that claim to value this shit should be on the offense. Don't be pro-gun only when the anti-gunners come out. Like, there's already guns. Your beloved Trump fucking had it. Your beloved Trump wasn't good on this position either. That dickhead, we talked about it ain't just with the bump stock ban. It's the fact that the bitch references I think that executive order is gonna come back to haunt us, because what it does is essentially allows the state to, or rather the federal government, to repackage what is considered a machine gun so they can specifically outlaw it. So that's why Trump sucks in that regard, because he's referencing, so for example, the National Firearms Act, which shouldn't ever be a thing because it blatantly impedes upon the right to essentially own weapons. And people seem to fucking miss that. But again, these motherfuckers only become pro-gun when they can try to take it to the Democrats. Meanwhile, they got people with R's next to their name shitting on their right to own weaponry. Imagine doubling down on the National Firearms Act. Imagine doing that. But all this does, and that was really the point that I wanted to make, all it does is it just confirms that there's too many laws against owning arms on the books. Like, if it's supposed to be, shall not be infringed, I mean, they've been infringing and they continue to do so. And again, a lot of it's facilitated by the people, even these gun rights organizations. Has anybody paid attention at all to the history of the, what's the fucking gun rights organization? Not the GOA. Obviously, they're the ones that seem to be no compromise. But you get those milquetoast sort of, which is hilarious because the leftists act like they are, the NRA is just like they're more pro-gun than what they are, not understanding that the NRA, a lot of the packaging in terms of the in rhetoric and used in laws throughout the course of recent modern history, the NRA had every bit to do with it. They milquetoast as fuck. So they long been crapping on your beloved Second Amendment, and I would love for these guys to get on the offense. But he's right. He's right. Yeah, you would need all of these things if you are going to indeed combat the government. Now, I will say there's a little falsehood with that, because Vietnam motherfuckers, and that's always a hilarious one, laughing in Vietnamese rice farmers that kicked your ass. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Don't underestimate what people can do when they motivated. Y'all still fighting motherfuckers over in the Middle East with outdated equipment and fucking sandals. Maybe we don't actually need that. And I think the minute they figure that shit out, they in trouble. Or actually, no, they know that. It's more the minute the people figure that out, they in trouble, which is why now they're trying to reclassify being anti-government to like you're a bad person, you're a Nazi, you're a white supremacist or something like that, because God forbid you don't like the state. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.